don't pay it no mind. That's just
no. Yeah, that was. Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I am Qiana.
And I'm the one and only Mr. Edmund.
And we're brought to you by the New Image Project, better known as
See that.
Because we are redefining
what's cool.
Because smart
is the new
gangsta.
Baby.
And if you didn't know,
now you know.
So it is Wednesday.
Yes. Money, making. What's on your mind? What's on your mind Wednesday? Oh, I got a lot on my mind.
You got a lot on your mind. It sounded like
go.
First it sounded like you was like,
don't worry,
make money on Wednesday because that's where you went.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we need to make $1 every day.
Mm-hmm. Dollars got to make sense.
Yes.
Okay, well, go run it.
Okay,
go.
I want to just give a big shout out to everybody that's out there doing what they do, man. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people doing some positive stuff in the community. Mm-hmm. They're not getting enough shine. They're not getting enough light. So if you or somebody doing something positive in the community, reach out to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. We want to shine a spotlight on you and what you're doing in the community. This is a community radio station, and we want to highlight our community unsung heroes. People who don't necessarily get no shine. People that just handling business in the back. We want to give them their props. We want to say thank you for all y'all doing, because we know that you out there and we know that you're doing it. So thank you.
Yeah, because it ain't always easy.
Oh, it's not easy at all.
It's not always easy.
People make it look easy.
They do.
But it's a difficult thing, working in the community. I don't care if you from being a club promoter to cutting yards in the community is a challenge at times. I don't care if you're a bar owner or a bartender. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? We all need each other. Just like the end of the song say, we need each other.
We need each other.
Wow. What's on your mind?
You know what? It's Wednesday. It's July, right? We're in July.
Mm-hmm.
The year is quickly approaching to an end.
Yes.
It looks like we just had started
quite an eventful 6 months.
Yes.
So
yeah. Last night I went to Janet Jackson last night.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yeah, she didn't do that song.
I wouldn't do it either at 60.
Oh, what? But you want me to?
It's Miss Jackson when you know him.
She actually did not do that song.
I wouldn't have did it either. She not the nasty Miss Jackson.
You don't know. She probably
She's somebody's great grandmama.
She's not nobody's great grandmama.
She at least a glam mama.
No, she not.
Janet like 70 years old, man.
No, I think she's 58.
Oh.
I think she's 58, if I'm not mistaken.
Janet, I'm just prorating.
But, Janet,
75 years old.
And Janet had a child later in life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No,
Janet got
who she had a baby from? Who her baby daddy?
The billionaire that was the Arabian guy.
Oh, Janet, what you doing?
Where you been?
I don't be in people's business.
Clearly, you don't know.
I don't be in nobody's business.
Ask
me, did it happen? I don't know if it happened or not. I don't know. Big shouts out to Miss Janet.
Janet is 58, right?
See, that's what it is, 58?
Yeah, she's 58. A matter of fact,
she looks nice to be 58.
Oh, she's a Taurus, so she's
an amazing 58.
Listen, she got out there and did her thing. You hear me?
Just imagine the people that we love watching are now doing their oldie but goodies.
Yeah, Janet's son is 7.
Dang, she did wait though.
Yeah. Like
that's what's up though. I mean, I don't think it matters.
No, I figured because you know what, I was looking at the stats. Having children later in life, extend your life. Women who have children after their 40s typically live to at least 100.
Wow.
Yeah, because who gonna take care of them babies?
What about dads?
I don't know about y'all.
You know them old men with them old men babies. Y'all already know that the boys be around forever.
I guess it.
They them boy, them 40, 35, 40-year-old babies.
I guess it motivates you to kind of stick around because who gonna take care of the baby?
Okay,
you see the grandmas who end up taking the grandparents who end up taking care of their
grandparents. Big shots out to all the grandmas.
No, I ain't talking about. No, I'm not talking about the grandmas who don't take care of their kids. Grandmas are still out there like enjoying life.
No, I mean,
I'm talking about grandmas.
Oh, Lord. Okay, we talking about grandmas versus grandmas. What you think? Put it in the comments. Y'all call in. We at 727
637-2416. Oh Lord. No, but
we talk about grandmas, grandpas, whatever you want to call
them. So you could be whatever. So I'm Lady. My grandbabies call me Lady.
Big shots out to Lady. I'm a couple ladies. I know a couple ladies.
Yeah. But I was too young. I didn't want to be called grandma. You was too young. I felt like I was. So listen. So I had they have a grandma, they have a grandma, they have a Gigi, and they got a lady.
Because they got grandmas, and grandmas.
So all those got different names.
That's what's up.
To kind of to do it, and there's nothing better than when I hear like my baby's like lady.
I mean, big shots out to all.
And you have your yaya,
grandmas, GGs.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But I would tell you, so I'm talking about
Black family.
I'm talking about your big mamas and your grandma who sit and they live forever because they take
mama. The one Tupac was writing about?
Oh, Lord. No, that was not a grandma. He was talking about his mom. You know what? Somebody please come save me. Good morning, Steve.
That's the deal mama Tupac was talking about?
No, because he was talking about his mama, not his grandma.
And dear mama.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, so it's What's on Your Mind Wednesday. If you don't know, you're listening to the new morning show on 99 Gems Carefest Radio, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
That's been around for like 18 years.
And we getting it in. So yeah, we got a action-packed show.
We actually do. We have some guests coming in. We're gonna be talking about the St. Pete Distillery.
Okay, so we need to talk about the Rays deal.
We're gonna go. It's gonna cross pollinate. Now I'm gonna tell you, y'all, because they're like, I mean, honestly, the Rays deal.
Yes, it's horrible. I was on a call with Alan Delisle, former economic development director for the city of St. Petersburg, and he spoke about the deal being one of the worst deals he's ever seen in his 30 years of economic development. He stated emphatically that the Rays actually
Good morning, Miss Wanda.
Actually kind of stalked this deal. He actually confirmed that they was kind of like, laying in the back, laying in the cut.
They was waiting till the time to pound. Like they were like
in the cut. Because a lot of people don't know that the Rays have actually offered this same deal to several city council, St. Pete city councils and mayors.
And all of them said no.
All of them said no. They actually went to Tampa. Bob Buckhorn in Tampa when he was the mayor of Bob Buckhorn. I mean, he was the mayor of Tampa, Bob Buckhorn, and he was like, no, he was like, he cannot give his children this type of debt that the team was asking them to do. He called it municipal extortion. Right. He said it was municipal extortion. They say the team was attempting to extort the city through the name of baseball. And so I guess St. Pete accepted the municipal extortion offer, and we are now being extorted.
Well,
they successfully extorted the city of St. Pete.
Because the deal, I mean, honestly, city council meets tomorrow.
Yes. There's going to be protests. They're going to be, so if you are against the deal, meet us at City Hall.
I'm just so shocked. I'm really shocked with the stance on we got to do this deal. I'm really shocked on that stance on it because there's so much uproar and so much conversation about it that I'm just shocked that we didn't okay, maybe I need to sit back and maybe reevaluate.
And why not use the voice of the people to renegotiate and get a better deal. Why instead of shunning the people and trying to marginalize the people? Oh, that's just them people. Oh, that's just those people. Instead of attempting to silence our voices, but also just say, hey, use their voices as leverage to get a better deal. I don't think getting a better deal was ever in the plans for the city of St. Pete, city council and administration. We got 5 city council members that's headstrong. They for it. There's nothing else. They don't even want. Right now, it's harder to get a CRA mini grant than it is for the Rays to get this multi-billion-dollar stadium.
And it is really hard to get a CRA mini grant. Like the mini grant.
All the mini grants, not just the CRA, the foundation mini grants, all the, you see this new mini grant thing they made? They made these grants because getting the grants were so hard for the people of the community. The mini grant is only a small part of the Southside CRA.
Right.
The Southside CRA gives away millions of dollars, but the mini grants are just micro funds, $5,000, $10,000 grants.
And even when
you
look
gotta
at
give them some blood, you got to give them a fingerprint,
your firstborn child, like it's a lot of stuff that you got to give.
But the Rays have to give nothing,
which is another thing that's really baffling.
It's white privilege. It's white privilege to the utmost. And people scared to say it because it's black people involved, but black people uphold white privilege all day. Black people co-sign white privilege all day. That's what they do. That's how white privilege gets to be so strong.
And you know what? I respect our leaders, right? And I'm gonna say this, and what's bothering me more than anything is that like we reached out and we and asked for real answers, and nobody returned a phone call.
It's not just us though.
I know, no. I'm just saying. I can just say and then when I say us, and I'm not talking about just the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
But we did. We
personally did.
Yes.
But the fact that multiple people, the community has asked, and there's never been like no real answers for it.
I think what they wanted to do this in group meeting settings, and like they had those big meetings at the Palladium and all this, and they wanted you to write your ideas down on a sticky note.
But when you do that, you can filter out the questions that you can answer, right?
I mean, honestly, I feel like this here. I feel there was a lot of window dressing. After listening to the former economic developer Alan Delisle speak about the timeline, I just realized that, the fix was in from the beginning. When you look at how horrible this deal is, there's right now 5 to 7 major league deals going on right now in the United States. This is the worst deal for taxpayers out of all major league deals going on right now in the United States. There isn't a deal that gives away so much land for so cheap. Right. There isn't a deal that gives away the full infrastructure, right, without getting nothing in return. The committee of the whole was yesterday, and that's the cow at the St. Pete City Hall. And some of the city council members had some sharp and poignant questions, and the attitude of the administration, the demeanor of the administration was like, hey man, we rolling with this. We don't care what y'all asking. And so if I'm not mistaken, Lisette Hanowitz, council member Lisette Hanowitz asked, was it? No, it wasn't Lisette. It was one of the council members. So forgive me if I got it wrong, but they asked, hey, are you guys going to show your financials? They like, no, we're not showing our financials. Are you going to show your agreement, your deal, your partnership deal between you and the organization so we can see that you are really the partners here? No, we're not showing it. Next, bye. And in my mind, those are deal breakers for the black community.
Those are red flags.
But those are deal breakers. We, as a black community, right now, you cannot enter into a deal with the city of St. Pete without your financials, without your agreements, without everything on the table. They'll use one reason to throw your whole grant out. They'll say, oh, you ain't got your income tax in there. Oh, this the wrong year income tax.
You could be 1 block away or like halfway in the CRA.
1 street away. You don't get it. And,
you won't get it.
And the problem is...
But they'll give it to somebody else. But go ahead.
This is a situation where we're going to have to pay these taxes They say it's 200 million, 600 million. After listening to Alan DeLisle, the property value is closer to $1 billion, $900 million.
I can believe that. And
they said 900 million. And these people selling it for 150 million.
Right, which is like,
and it ain't even a sale. They are holding the property for the $150 million price for 30 years. So this property in one day could potentially be worth $10 billion.
First of all, like
10. And they're gonna sell it for that 150.
It will be, because downtown is
booming.
It's booming. It's not getting any cheaper to live down there. And you have condos that's $1 million.
Yes, you got $2-3 million, 1,000 square feet condos. No,
right.
About 4,000 square feet.
Some of them not.
Some of them is.
But some of them is. Yeah. But some of them not.
Yeah, some of them not.
You know what I mean? And the fact that like
it's a windfall for the Rays.
And it's a lose all for St. Pete. It's for the city. It's really sad. It's very, very sad when you when we sit and think about it. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm and I have to say I'm very disappointed.
Listen,
I'm very I am extremely disappointed in how this is going, and the lack of the communication, the lack of
they're just talking to each other.
Yeah, but the lack of communication to the community, the lack of
I don't think they feel that we're worthy, right? I don't feel that.
Well, we're worthy because we got to take this 7-minute break.
Are we worthy to take this break?
We got to take this quick break. We'll be back 7 minutes after the hour. Tag a friend, tell a friend. We do have guests coming in. Wow. But we're going to be talking about the Rays deal. We're going to be talking about Trump and some other things. We have an Qiana. So yeah, stay tuned and we shall be back.
We'll be back.
Hello, I'm Gabe Ortiz, and this is WEDU Arts Plus. Based out of St. Pete, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is a morning radio show about hip-hop.
We're back.
We're back. We're back. We're back.
You're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I am the one and only Mr. Edmund.
And this is Qiana.
And thank you for joining us and helping us redefine what's cool. You're listening to the new image.
Smart is the new
gangster. New Image Project.
You messed it up, so I
brought to you by the Community Development and Training Center, aka.
See that?
Thank you for redefining what's cool. Cause smart is the new
gangster.
Baby.
You
can't knock how I do it. You gotta let me rock the mic.
Oh my Lord!
I'm doing freestyle. It's a platinum album. I mean, you talking about stop.
No. I ain't say stop. I just started talking.
That's what I'm saying. The worst thing you can do in the studio.
No, sometimes you make magic like that.
I mean, I ain't gonna deny that. But yeah, earlier, just getting back when we left off, we were talking about the raise deal. It was a committee of the whole meeting yesterday by the city of St. Pete, and despite what many people may think, this deal is not done. The city council is in charge of the purse strings of the city of St. Pete. The mayor can approve and back a lot of things, but the city council must approve the financial aspects of this. We're taking out $200-300 million bonds that might add up to $600-700 million by the end of it. Plus, we're giving away land for $150 million that might be worth $900 million.
Now might be right now.
They haven't done an appraisal in 3 years.
In 3 years, so it's totally
4 years. They haven't done an appraisal. So now we waiting on the appraisal. We ain't gonna get no appraisal. They don't want to talk about the bag.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about
around the bag.
It's a lot of stuff that's happening that's just not. I'm just like I'm at awe. Like I'm really at awe. That's all I can say. Like,
you know what? Some more.
I'm really at awe with this. Is that like at this point? When did
at this juncture?
And the fact is that they giving this deal to everybody. So this is like this is like a stale piece of bread that's been sitting in there, and they tried to give it to everybody, and nobody took it. Nobody took it. 3 mayors prior to this, nobody took it. 3
mayors, 5 cities. People fail to realize that a lot of times they say, the Rays are gonna leave, they're gonna leave. The organization attempted to leave 5 years ago, 7 years ago.
And nobody took it.
Nobody took it. Nobody accepted. They still here. That's why they're here. They're not here because we cute, because they like us. They're here out of necessity. This was the last ditch effort, and what they did was they were able to come up with the best deal of their life. Honestly, I mean, that's the definition of stay down till you come up, because they sure enough stayed in the cut, and now they're going to be the wealthiest. They might be the wealthiest MLB team after this. This team right now, if it's worth $1 billion, they don't know how much the team worth because they ain't showing their financials and stuff, so they don't know. But the team might be worth $1 billion, maybe $2 billion after this land acquisition and this new stadium. The team might be worth $6 to $7 billion, not counting the stadium.
And what's gonna be left is the citizens of Pinellas County and St. Pete is gonna have.
We're gonna pay for it, and we're gonna have no ownership. We're gonna have no revenue sharing, no nothing. And the council isn't even asking for it. You know, we have 3 big shots out to the 3 council members that's standing strong. Lisette Hannowitz, Brother John Muhammad,
and
Richie Floyd. They standing on business, man. They asking all the right questions.
And honestly, they listen to their community. Like
they're listening to their constituents.
They're listening to the people who voted them in or who wanted them in. Because when we're doing the polls, I'm just like, it's just like, hey, are you listening to anybody other than like
they listen? They are. They're listening. They're listening to the conversations that they want to hear. Because one of the things you have to do, at the least, you got to acknowledge the other side of the conversation.
Right.
At this point, the other side of the conversation isn't even being acknowledged. Point, and so what they did was they came back with a new development deal. And Alan DeLisle spoke about this on Monday. They made some changes and made an attempt to say, hey, we're listening to you. But the changes that they made were inconsequential to the deal of itself. So what that means is they made surface changes, but the deep tissue of the deal
it's still the same.
Is not changed. They're still getting all the land. They're still getting everything for the freedom. Free. Listen, it's harder to get a CRA grant. Listen, right now, it's harder for a black citizen to get a CRA microfund grant than it is for the Rays to leave with $600 million.
And it's somebody who's never tried to leave the city of St. Pete.
Never. They ain't tried to go nowhere.
And they never try to leave the city of St. Pete. Listen. And again, it's really hard to get those microfunds. Like,
oh yeah, you gotta give blood. You gotta give your firstborn child.
You do.
They want a retina scan. You gotta have your DNA test. You gotta have your high school graduation.
Yeah, it's a lot to get the microfunds, and then once
we want y'all to be listening. We want y'all to hear us and not take it jokingly, but really look into y'all process, because if the city council can bold-facedly give away a deal like this, so lucrative and so sweet, and then multi-billion-dollar organization,
and you know that we're gonna be in debt. The little money that, and I mean honestly, people appreciate a lot of stuff that we appreciate because it's a jump start. But if they can give away $10,000 and then
I don't know, I ain't gonna say that.
No, I'm just saying. But you think about like $10,000, they want to assess their risk about giving that to people, but they don't want to assess their risk about a multi-million-dollar deal.
It's a multi-billion.
Y'all can come on in.
And one of the things, if y'all ever heard of the N Team, the N Team is the organization that goes out and paints the houses for elderly seniors. And I was talking to a senior last night, and did you know that they make them sign a paper that say they will not sell their home for a year? If they sell their home, they got to pay back the city like $1,500, $2,000.
And see, I'm just saying, never heard but see, this is
citizen. If it's a lie, she told it, but I know she ain't telling me no lies.
So do your facts. Do your fact check on this. But go ahead.
That a senior has to sign a commitment.
Listen, so I'm going to say this, and if you listen to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, we've been talking about this Rays deal, and again, I'm just at awe. I just can't believe that we are here right now and nobody's listening. Yeah. Or are they listening, but it's just kind of like, so tomorrow is the vote.
Yes, city council, come on out. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna be in the middle of the road. Come stand in the street.
And if you have any questions, you could go back and look. Monday, we do have from Monday the Zoom meeting up on the page, so you could go back and listen to what Alan Delisle did say about the deal. It's not too late. It's not signed. Email.
It's not done. Everybody feel this deal has always been done, but on the underground, on the undertuck, it's been done. You know, you can feel like that, but the reality is, city council holds the purse strings of the city of St. Pete.
And so right now we have 3 people that is 100% no, and we got 5 people that's 100. So we need, I would say this as they would say, we just need flip one. Yes. I don't know who that one is, but it needs to be flipped.
Maybe it can be the real estate professional, or maybe it can be the airplane pilot. I don't know, one of them guys.
I don't know, but if you look at it, we're gonna be as you would say, creek with this deal. But other than that, like, hold on, I'm gonna take like a quick 2-minute break, right?
Break?
Yeah, we gotta take a break. Yeah, we do. Because we got guests that came in.
Yeah, we gotta make everything right.
Yeah, we do. So stay tuned, tag a friend, tell a friend. Because we ain't going nowhere. All right. And I mean, we just came back at 8:00. Wait, 8:07, so 7 minutes ago?
Right back like we never left.
Right. So, I mean, if you wasn't tuned in, you are listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. This is Qiana.
And I'm the one and only Mr. Edmund.
And we're brought to you by the New Image Project, better known as...
See, Dad?
Because we are redefining...
what's cool.
Because smart...
Smart is the new gangster.
Baby.
And if you don't know...
now you know.
No.
Now, if you were tuning in on Facebook, you see we got some new people.
Yes.
New people in the building. Prior to that, we was talking about the race deal.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue to talk about it because, that's hot topic. But we're going to take a pause.
Yes. Pause for the cause.
Because we have some people in the building. We have Julian. We have Keller. And go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Julian Smith here with Nixon & Co.
Pull it up for me.
You hear me okay?
Now, there we go.
I'm Julian Smith. I'm here on behalf of Nixon & Co.
Good morning, Kellen Nixon, also with Nixon & Co, principal of the group.
Okay. And so we're here with the St. Pete Distillery, right? And it's an event coming on Friday at the factory. Doors open at, not the factory, the foundation.
Yeah, get that right.
I know.
They don't change their name anyway.
But you know what happened? F&F. Factory, foundation, all right, now, because one is like
all right.
somewhere else.
Okay, where is that? What it's doing?
It's the foundation.
Okay, go for it.
So, it's going to be a conversation about the direction of where the St. Pete Distillery is going, and an open conversation to see what the people want, right? As well.
Okay, so let's back up.
Okay, go ahead.
So we are Nixon and Company. One of our projects happen to be the St. Pete Distillery. We are based here in St. Pete. We also have space in Charlotte, which is where I currently reside. Grew up a stone's throw away from here, Polk County. I'm a Polk County boy, Haines City. Don't get it too.
Okay.
The city.
Is anybody there?
Well, you having people come at you, man.
No, I know some good people from Polk County. Go ahead.
only good people from the crib. So, we, again, that's one. We do a lot of work in the space. A lot of it is around people and culture. And in this particular segment, we're talking a lot about community listening and engagement, which is something that we have been recognized on the national stage as a result of the framework that we built 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the project.
Yeah. So about 2 years ago, we embarked on a project where we created a listening framework. And it's a framework around where we have residents speak with other residents, have your own within your own community speak to you about the things that you want to talk about, not any particular subject, just really what's on your hearts and mind. And so with that, we've kind of took that and used it for other projects. And one of the projects that came about more recently was working with the St. Pete Distillery and how they see themselves going forward. We talk about St. Pete Distillery, but really that's just a tenant on a larger 30-acre plot of land that they outright own. This is not a city project. This is not a municipality type project, a county project. This is a privately owned piece of property that where the St. Pete Distillery is housed at. So they're just a tenant of that property. And so because of the location of it, it's in the heart of South St. Pete. And so being that we have an affection for South St. Pete, I'm from St. Pete, South St. Pete. It was a great opportunity for us to partner with somebody who wants to do it the right way, which is bring in those individuals who are in the community to speak on behalf of what they would like to see on a piece of property that they don't really have to do that for. They own it outright, So I think it's a way for us to communicate how a organization, an entity can go forth with involving community that kind of can set a model for other entities and organizations, developers to come in to embark, to make sure that the community is engaged with what's going on. And so that's the reason why we thought it was important to have this conversation.
I like this because we were just talking about non-engagement. and how people are not listening to the people that live here and the citizens of St. Pete, especially in the South Side of St. Pete, and to have a private company that comes in and say, hey, I want you to be heard, is a big thing, because a lot of times things happen in our community that we have no say so to, we don't agree with. I've been there, we did some events there, beautiful space, and the fact that they want you to be involved, like they're screaming like hey, come, and you don't typically get that from somebody who technically don't need you.
Yeah, and I would love to hear kind of the operational definition that you all are using around like non-engagement. When you say non-engagement, like what does that actually mean from where you all were having the discussion?
So when we were talking about prior to you coming in, like we do a lot of town halls and like community conversation. We invite everybody out, and certain people just don't show up. And the fact that you represent our community, I think that's a sad day in our community, that the people that we vote in feel like they don't have to listen to us. Yeah. You know, when you're looking at the community engagement part, and we don't attack people, we attack issues here. So it's nothing personal to the person, but we need answers. And so when something is happening in our community, I think that you owe it to us to come in and show up and say why you're making the decision that you make it, especially since we voted you in.
Yeah, no, I think that's super important. Like it reminds me of like even growing up like at the crib where, you know, you walk around, you know, and I'm from a small town, Orange Groves and Dirt Road, Same City, right? So, you know, you walk around that neighborhood and there are doors open throughout the neighborhood. They remain open in the summers, but there's still, you know, if they have that screen porch, that screen door is locked,
right?
And I think that's how a lot of the political play happens in our community, where yes, I'm out here, right? I am perceived to be open, but there is still a barrier. There is something that we have not been able to unlock.
Right. They got the door closed here. The screen door ain't open.
See, it's the illusion.
The screen door ain't open.
Because you can go to the city council meeting tomorrow. You can do all of these things.
Right.
But ultimately, until you get access to where folks are most comfortable sitting, right? You know, I may not let you in, but I can open a space up for us to negotiate. And I feel like that's what the distillery is really trying to achieve too, is like making sure people realize that you can come and just be in this space. You don't have to come and partake. You don't have to come and purchase. It's a space that literally sits in your community that you can access as often as you like, right, with as many ideas or initiatives that you would like. So I think that's a different kind of engagement, and I feel like we got to really start talking about the organizations that are doing that level, that aren't giving you the illusion that they're available, but they're really not.
And I will say that you're so right about that. When you look at it, we started a partnership maybe like a year ago or so, and we did some really great events, and the people came out. It was really about, let's just show you what we have to offer.
Yeah, and so and I feel like that's just rooted in our work. I mean,
talking to the mic.
Yeah, we started this with a concept of, you know, we used to call them pull-ups, right? Like that was kind of our start, where it was nothing more than kind of sitting at the studio, opening it up for a couple hours and just letting people come in and just rap with us and tap in. And a lot of that wasn't just about us them tapping in with us. It was also about making sure that we were tapped in to the larger issues or the narratives in the community in which we serve. So I think a lot of that is where, when you look at community listening as a strategy, it's not about an agenda written or built kind of experience. It's about, I'm just here. Like, pull up, let's talk about what is on your heart, what's on your mind, as you mentioned. And that is something where I feel like we've gotten so technical. We've gotten so, I need the invitation. I need to be mobilized. I need people telling me where to be and how to be, versus just, bro, can you just pull up and just rap a bit? Like, can we just talk about what the issues or opportunities are? Because it doesn't always have to be a negative thing.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't, because every conversation is not about what you're not doing. Yeah. Because there's a lot of I can talk about a lot of great stuff that happened in the city. right? And what I can say is with the partnership and everything that I've seen from the group is that I can't speak anything like, oh no, nah, they ain't do this, they didn't do that. Like, they came in, they was like, okay, y'all want to have a party? Let's do a party. Y'all want to be heard? Let's talk about it. Now let's give you the information and see where you stand. What does this look like to you? And a lot of times you hear that, but people don't really produce that, and y'all have been producing that. So I'm gonna say, listen, everybody, I know y'all sick of my emails. But come on out on Friday. It's gonna be a great conversation. It starts out at the foundation. Doors open at 2:30. It starts at 3, and then afterward, and it ends at 6. Correct?
Ends at 6.
Right, and then right after that, it's Friday. So and then, right, and then the distillery, fix that, we'll end up there right after that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dope situation, and I appreciate you acknowledging it, because that's exactly what our group is about. And I think one thing I also want to say, because people always ask, like, why St. Pete?
Why not St. Pete?
More importantly, that's definitely the spirit. But like this brotherhood, I mean, me and Jew met at Florida A&M 25 years ago, right? And like from that moment to this moment, there has not been any interference. There hasn't been any disruption in our brotherhood. So when he even brought up St. Pete, it wasn't just about the geography. It wasn't about the place. It was about the people, right? So I say that to say, when folks ask why St. Pete, it's because there's a people connection that we have, not just a project, right? Or a product or a process that I think people sometimes see us as in this city. So we are definitely for the people and of the people of South St. Pete. And I think that's just something I want to make sure people continue to put at the forefront of all of our efforts, because we got a lot of things cooking.
It's the people. It's the people. And if y'all know anything about St. Pete is pretty resilient.
Yeah.
And we're not afraid to, go against the grain. Yeah. And stand on principles and make sure things are done right. And that's what I love about St. Pete. The heart of St. Pete has kicked off a lot of great stuff. Yeah, for sure. So yeah. I mean, I'm excited about Friday. I'll be in the building.
Oh, of course.
Mr. Edmund gonna be in the building.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's gonna be real lightweight. Like a lot of what we're doing is just You've been to our events, you've been to a pull up, but we're trying to basically recreate a pull up experience. At the foundation, because we know sometimes things can get technical there. Like people want to do and I'll just call it performative for a lack of better term, but like being very let's do it this way versus just come out, let's have some conversations, learn about a little bit of what we do, but also, we'll have the St. Pete Distillery, we'll have Alexander Goshen, who is one of the top Black developers in the Southeast with respect to affordability around housing. We'll have Dr. Victor Kidd with Health & Co. He is a behavior therapist, one of the lead therapists for the Major League Soccer. He's also the lead therapist for NBA referees, and has artists on both Def Jam and Universal Records. So, and we're going to also have Aaron Ward on that panel as well, who was a listener in that original project.
So it's a little bit for everybody. Your music lovers, people who care about the housing, you know what I mean? You want to see Black developers, construction. Like it's a little nice pot mix of gumbo with a little bit of everything in there that, so whatever you're looking for, you can find it. And so pull up again, it's 3:00 at the foundation. The address for the foundation is 2333 34th Street South. I know 34th Street South.
You got that one. You know 34th Street.
Because I tell them, pull up across the street from KFC,
Oh, yeah. That's what we do in the neighborhood. I can't tell you the street, but I can tell you what.
I know how to get there.
There's a lady selling
Depending on how long you been here, you remember Mr. Peanut that used to be out there across the street.
We done nuanced down from 34th Street South to Mr. Peanut.
Yes, I mean, come on. If you had to leave the people with like one thing, what would you say?
Well, I would just say this is a great opportunity to showcase how things can be when it comes to a developer coming in. And I'm not even say coming in because they're already here, but the fact that they want to include those that's in the community. Again, I want to emphasize they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to engage the community or even ask the community what they would desire.
Because it's their property.
They own it. They own it outright. They can, if they want to throw up buildings, as long as it pass code and zoning, they're fine. But the fact that they want something that's in the heart of St. Pete that resembles the city and the surrounding areas, I think is a dope concept, and I think it's a model for other developers or any other organizations who want to do something within an area that typically a lot of times feels like things are being done to them versus being a part of it. And so I think this is a great opportunity to display what that could look like for others in the near future. I mean, because we know the city is changing crazy, as you all were just talking about before we walked in. So
it is. It's a lot of changes going into the city. I'm reading comments too. So, I mean, you could definitely call in if you have some questions. 727-637-2416. It's up on the screen. Again, it's 727-637-2416. Yo, I think it was Tyler. It must be maybe somebody you know. Yo, I don't know.
What up, though? What up, though? I don't know. But what up, though?
Pull up.
I think the other important thing to also reference in this is I think oftentimes things feel like they're very definitive. I love what you all were talking about before we joined about, the vote that is upon us tomorrow because of the political climate and the ways that we see things being voted on, right?
Right.
We talk about the 5-3. That's one element of change, right? That's a decision being made. But the folks who then have to operate under that change, that's where the real power lies. So no matter the decision, and this is where I kind of get into a little bit more of that people work, is like it's our opportunity to engage at the level in which we are afforded to.
Right.
You can talk about what you don't have, but you also have to play within the space in which you do. And I feel like this is an opportunity for folks to really come out and understand what it looks like to really play in these spaces. Because people will look at us and say, well, how did you sit at the table of the distillery? We didn't send one message. We didn't send one email. One of our biggest accomplishments in running this group is we're coming on 6 years. We have not spent one dime in direct marketing of our company. Not one dime.
That speaks volumes of the company.
It does, but it's because it's a people business.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to talk to me about something, let's talk about it. Like, I'm not going to send you this long, drawn out email or narrative of who I think you should accept me as. I think we should sit down and figure out the work that we can do. And that's what I encourage, like, us to do, even with this topic that's coming up with gas planners. Like, we got to get more proximate as a people. We got to sit in these spaces that sometimes don't look or feel like us, and be very, steadfast about the ways in which these conversations are being had, and let folks know that, listen, I'm not here to, laugh at a whole lot of things that aren't funny or be performative or do the shucking and jiving to make it feel as if I'm worthy of, but I'm really here to just understand where my play is in this. How do I literally leverage, my gifts and make sure that it's in support of my people? So I think that's a huge, huge narrative that I want to leave with everyone, because there's going to be a lot of change. We got a lot coming up, right? We've been going for about a year, doing a lot of work around the country, but we are back, and it will look totally different in about 9 months of what this group will be doing in this city.
I mean, you blank, the city looks different anyway.
Yeah. So it's going to be good. It's going to be real good.
Miss Statman, you got any questions?
I got 1,000 questions.
Shoot.
I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah,
behind you.
I got 1,000 questions, but I ain't gonna do you like that. Because it ain't. It's a time and place for everything. Thank y'all for the work y'all doing. Because one of the things that we got to realize is while we're doing this work, right, and bringing people in, bringing community people in, because the community is needed, right? When, like you say, they've got 30 acres in the hood, right? Any true developer is going to go to the community around them. That's how you get access to resources. They're not coming to because we cute, because they like you guys. They're coming because in a strategy, you get to the people around the development, and that's how you tap into the resources of the development. And that's what makes it a smooth transition. Like those real big dogs, that's how they do it. See, they just come into St. Pete doing us with the little boy. When they go to those other towns, that's what they do. They come in, they go in, and they talk to people. They come in because that's how you solidify the development. You get what I'm saying? Especially, you're going to be here 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you lock in, you go, and you see what they want. It's an award to us because we don't see it. Because they come in and just push us off and then, but really the standard operating practice, we're supposed to be incorporated. We're supposed to be in. Oh, yeah. We're supposed to be at the table, because the problem is we end up fighting over the crumbs that fall off the table because we weren't at the table when the contracts and the agreements was being made. So I think that's the most important part, because we always can be listened to. You get what I'm saying? They can always hear us. They hear us all the time. You get what I'm saying? But it's about taking heed to what we're saying. Right, and taking what we're saying and incorporating it into what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? Because, like I say, people's ears are always open. You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing they say, I hear you. I hear you. I heard you. I hear you. Right now, that's what they're saying. We heard you. We had the meetings. We heard you. But the reality, show me where what you heard is in anything that you're doing. And then 9 times out of 10, they can't. Because the purpose wasn't to put what you said in the papers. The purpose was to get you to buy into what we're doing. It's to get your buy-in. Buy-in is
that's an interesting perspective, right? That's an interesting perspective. I think there's multiple perspectives around community engagement versus community listening, right? So, like, the thing that we have developed that I think we've done a really good job across a multitude of organizations is creating a listening framework that is lacking that agenda. And I think that's where our folks or our community has been most compromised, because we think there's an agenda. We think that someone has to say, ask me these questions and let me answer. That's not what this is about. It's about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? The whole being at the table so that when these things are being decided upon, you're there. That was the point I was making. Like, you got to stay proximate. But when you're proximate, it's not about coming in assuming that you have the answer. So listening is really it's more of a place of humility. Like, I'm coming to listen to you because I'm assuming that I don't know, versus coming in with an agenda of what I claim to know. And that's where, we've really been able to sit with the distillery. I mean, we're talking about the distillery. I can tell you Harvard, Yale, Arizona Science Center, what are the other organizations? Carnegie Science Center. I mean, we've been all over the country. I mean, you come on Friday, you're going to hear over 5,000 individuals who've been engaged over the last probably 9 months in very, very, very big issues. As an example, when Dr. Claudine Gay, president of Harvard, first African-American woman to be the president of Harvard University, was forced to resign based on accusations of plagiarism. They didn't literally come in and say, okay, these are the things we need to talk about. They leveraged our group to come up and do a listening on behalf of the Peabody Museum, which is really was in her purview and something that she really supported. So when I'm talking about a lot of these issues, or when we're talking about a lot of these issues, it's not just about putting the agenda up. It's about holding space for each other and saying, okay, I don't know where this is going. And I need you to understand that I'm not asking you to tell me, I'm asking you to come along with me. And that's what the distillery is doing. That's what our clients are doing. They're not saying, give us the map and we'll take it from here. They're saying, come with us. Where do you see yourself in this in 10 years, 20 years? Versus when you talk about engagement, it's, okay, here are the things. Let's go ahead and get these things down. Here's your gift certificate for Chick-fil-A or wherever I'm going to give you. And then I checked all my boxes. I've gotten all my numbers, and I'm going to slide on y'all. So that's the difference in what most people do and what we do in our group. We don't do the whole check down. We have an agenda. How many people? We don't count beans at the door. It's not about numbers for us. It's never been. And I mean, you could tell it.
Right.
I was telling y'all that from the slap.
Yeah.
Right. If 2 people show up to the events we were having on the clubs, I'm cool with that. If 2,000, I'm cool with that. It's not about the numbers. It's about the footprints and the impact that you can make so that people can literally see, okay, this person is trying to have us walk along beside them. They're not just trying to get numbers and take pictures, and that ain't what it's about.
Oh, that's the work. See, because when you have a meeting, you can't distinguish that from a meeting. You can't distinguish that from 7 meetings. You distinguish that from the product that comes from those meetings. Right. See what I'm saying? Right. And the reality is, a lot of us, we don't stay along for that duration of that project. Yeah. And what we be is, we get the people to come, right, and they at the meeting. But now when they go to phase 2 and phase 3, you ain't in the budget. Right. And then now they saying, okay, we had all these great meetings with Nixon and Co. and we had 5,000 people. We did all this stuff. And we're going to do whatever we want. And I ain't saying that's what they do, but I'm saying that's how it's crafted. And that's why you have to be in those certain spots, in those certain places. Because what they'll do, they use our voices. They need us. They're not hiring us because we cute. This is strategy. This is business 101. This is not, you know what I'm saying? And it feels good to be a part of, but you got to know where you're at on the chessboard. You get what I'm saying? You got to know which piece you are. Are you a king, queen, or are you a bishop, or are you a pawn? And you can be a pawn, but that's all right. You got to know your pawn. You got to know what moves you got to make. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it is a long game. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is a 20, 30-year project. They ain't going 30 acres. They probably ain't going to develop it till 10 years, 15 years. Who knows? You get what I'm saying? So as we in the community, they always need our buy-in. Yeah. It's never a point where the word of the people is not needed. They will try to tell us it's not, and they'll make us feel it's not, but our words are so powerful. Our what do you call it? Community sentiment, public opinion. Yeah. You hear that all the time. Public opinion polls, public opinion. You know why? Because what the people say matters. So that's why a good, smart person, what I do, I get in front of it. I start already having this stuff. That's why I say it's intentional. Yeah. You gotta do it. You get what I'm saying? Because why? It'll come back and bite you in the butt if you ain't had these meetings, if you ain't do it, and if you ain't set it up right. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Us knowing where we at on the board, knowing what position we playing and who we playing it for.
So what position do you feel like South St. Petersburg residents are playing in? I mean, the rapid change that is happening on all fronts of this community. Like, where do you feel like the people are actually?
I think the community is playing pretty much that same position. Like, they come in talking to people in the community, and then they use those community voices to make the changes. You get what I'm saying? They'll take a swath of people, right? Let's say the gas plant, for instance, right? They'll take a swath of people, get the swath of people to say they agree with it, they love it, it's the best since sliced bread, and then they take those words and superimpose it to everybody who asks questions about it. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? And that's okay. That's the position Nixon and Co. in. You're the ones going out and getting those words, right? And that's why it's so important as we do this that we know, okay, then wait, let me make sure what I'm doing. Because I know when I hand this report back, because there is a report that got to be handed back. We don't got to be counting beans, but I got to report something. Yeah. I got to tell you something that's going on, and it's what you report back. Because at the end of the day, and that's why I say it's a long game, and really knowing your who you've been hired by, knowing your client, knowing what their real goals is, knowing what their intentions is. Because sometimes you got to say, hey man, I ain't with this. This ain't my cup. This ain't my cup of tea right here. Yeah. And you will have people that do that throughout this industry. You know what I mean? Because they figure out what's going on. But at the end of the day, I think it's always important to have community involvement. But a lot of times, community involvement gets manipulated and abused. That's why people so jaded. Because they had their opinion used before. They filled out the surveys. They sat in the focus groups. Yeah. They got the $50 gift card. You get what I'm saying? When it's a multi-million-dollar deal going on with their words. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? You should have paid them $100 an hour. You get what I'm saying?
But then I think that's where you get into the monetization of information, and that's not the point of community engagement. It's part of financial freedom. If you're gonna have a multi-million-dollar deal, let's say you want me to help you dictate your budget this year. You got a $10 million budget, right? And you want me and my crew to come in. Right, and you give us $25 gift cards to help you allocate your $10 million budget. You get what I'm saying? That contributes to the you know what I mean? Right. It puts us farther in the hole.
We have a caller. Go ahead.
Hey, Jabbar, you hit that right on the head.
Y'all can't.
And I appreciate you putting that out there because I actually worked on the project with those guys. Yeah. And I think that's exactly what's happening. So if they can't hear me, I don't even want to say what I gotta say because I want them to be able to respond. So I worked the first project with them guys.
This is Qiana, Anthony.
And I worked the first listening project with Nixon and Company. And me working in that project, I'm reflecting the exact sentiments of the bar. It was kind of disappointing to me because we were hired on to speak about the gas plant and gather information about the gas plant project. And once we got on and got into the motion of it, the whole program of it shifted into something else. And that shift into something else is actually absolutely what Jabbar is saying. Those are the sentiments that are being reflected right now into our community. So I'm just saying this from somebody that's been there. This has to be fixed and it has to be looked at just how Jabbar is saying it, because what is being taken, the data that you guys are giving to meet your deliverables is absolutely being used, because that's why they paying y'all.
Well, all right. So who is this again? This is
Qiana.
Right. So
thank you, bro.
Well, I think to that one point, let's answer that. So the project that he's actually referencing was not the gas plant project.
Okay.
So let's be clear on that. I want to make sure we get clear on that. That was not a gas plant specific listening campaign. That was literally built on an asset-based community development project that brought us to town in 2020. And after we did that asset mapping, we then went back to the foundation. And I think the thing that people don't, maybe where folks are getting it maybe tied in, is we actually did the listening for the initial gas plant reunion, the inaugural gas plant reunion that happened there at the Tropicana field. We were there. That's where we met Harold. We were working with Carl Lavender. And even within that project, our job wasn't to tell the story. It was only to capture the stories of those who were at that reunion.
But that's what they used it for, though.
Right. But
that's exactly what I'm talking about. I just want to throw that out there.
Right. So this was also before Mayor Welch took his seat. So when we talk about our engagement with the gas plant, we've never been a part of a gas plant project. Let's be clear.
Right.
And that even includes us. We didn't even put in for the solicitation, and we were actually invited, right, to put in for the proposals to be the community engagement arm for the larger Hines project. We literally refused to do that. One, because when you look at those kind of hyper political opportunities, it does come with a compromise. The person is checking boxes, right? And we're not a group that just sits within St. Pete. We've been internationally recognized for the work that we do. So we're very strategic. We don't play those games. And if you have been around me, you'll quickly realize, I don't laugh at a whole lot of things that aren't funny. And I'm really one of those people who, I didn't just grow up in the community. I've actually ascended to some of those levels that you talk about these political plays being pushed in. My group actually started in DC. I sat in the district for 2 years starting this group. So I know the political climate. I know how to play it as well. So when we talk about, let's just make sure when we're sitting in these positions, we're actually speaking truth to power. And we're not making assumptions that because you see black and brown skin before you, and we're actually on the side of doing the listening on behalf of some of these clients, that we sit in a place where we're just submitting numbers, or we're just trying to take your voice and check a box. Trust me, if you was in these rooms with us, you'll realize it ain't nothing like that.
And I can say this is working with y'all for a while. I don't get that, right? And what I will tell you is I'm not knocking anybody's because your perception is your reality. And when you get burnt by so many things, sometimes you see stuff, an illusion that's not technically true. And then because communication is stopped, you don't get the answer. So then you come up with whatever you assume the answer is to the problem. Right?
Because we're not so we have 2 studios. We have one in Charlotte, one in St. Pete. We spend 90% of our time on the road. Literally, I spend 80% of my year traveling. I'm in an airport. I'm doing meetings in an airport. I'm between New York, Connecticut, DC, Atlanta, you name it, right? So people don't see us, right? So we're sitting on 16th Street South in a building, right, with no label. There is not one Nixon & Co. sign on that building at all. Why is that? Why do you all think there's not one Nixon & Co. label? You've never even, people can't even tell us what our logo is. Why do you think we do that?
Why?
Because at the end of the day, when we're in community, to be of community, you have to be absent of a label, right? To say that you're of community, to really rock with me, I have to make sure that I remove all the barriers of any corporate identity or business identity that I have, because the moment you see that, to your point, you're going to make all kinds of assumptions, right? When you go to our website and you see 65 partners, when you see multi-million-dollar deals being closed,
pull up to the mic. Get to the mic.
You're gonna perceive me to be someone playing in a particular pool that I'm actually not playing in at all. So we don't even put that out. We don't even put our business first. We put people first, right? That is our modus operandi. That's our MO. We are a people first business. If you want to holler at me, come holler at me. Pull up, right? But to sit back, and I appreciate Cuz hitting, but to sit back and be a part of something and then something go wrong, I take that personally, because literally that was something I was a part of, and I'm always available for a conversation. 1,000%. I actually prefer it. Anyone will tell you this is my game. I talk for a living, right? Mm-hmm. Other people do the work, but I talk for a living. So if you want to rap or you want to connect, let's do that. But I think that's where we're lacking too. We're spending so much time worrying about some of these places that we are perceived not to be, that even in the places that we are, we're not connecting. We don't connect, mm-hmm. right? We don't pull up on each other. When folks see us, they kind of see us as almost outsiders, when in actuality, we're really on the inside. We're really sitting at that table saying things that so I ain't gonna hold you. Some of y'all might not even be saying, right? Because you're coming from a place where you're thinking of an agenda, and we're sitting here saying this is just what it is, mm-hmm. right? Take it or leave it. Whether you like it, it's neither here nor there for us. This is what we do. This is what we're providing you, and this is how we hope that this truth that we're sharing will bear some good fruit on behalf of the community.
And if you have more questions, show up on Friday.
Whole time.
Show up on Friday
and Thursday.
Whole time.
And Thursday, Friday and Thursday. I want to say that. Show up on Thursday. Yeah, I pulled it up because show up on Thursday and Friday. It's a lot of conversation, and again, this is the kind of engagement that you want. And what I will say, I can appreciate what you just did. There was a problem or issue or something that you didn't back away from the question, right? You went ahead and stood on how you believe about it. And I can respect that, because a lot of times when you ask the hard questions, somebody get upset, they shut down, and then you don't hear from them anymore, or they change the subject, or we get, this is the greatest deal ever. But I'm just saying, so we get that fact that, you know what I mean, like you hear in the paint, and you like, ask the questions. Ask the questions, and that just shows you who you are as a person, because regardless, when you look at somebody that's doing it, you can't always get it right, and you cannot assume that everybody that you vote in or you're working with, you assume that they have best intentions, but sometimes it changed later on, because people can sell you really good on paper or even in person, and then later on, so you can't get mad because somebody else switched the game later on. We were sold on a lot of stuff here in St. Pete that we thought was gonna go through, and then later on the cars flipped on us. There's no way for us to actually know that. So to hold people accountable for other people's action is unfair, because me and you go out there and tell people to go vote for certain people all the time. We go out there and do it, and we buy in. And then when they switch out, we just as hurt.
Oh yeah, but we in on it. Because if we bring somebody in and they don't do it, we in on it. That's why I don't just jump on any campaign coming, because I know that my word carries weight. I have no mistakenability about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just going to get anybody that comes in, and because I'm going to be like, well, hold on, what if you going to leave? And you going, and I'm still.
But what I'm saying is that
I think like that.
But we all think like that. I don't sign on nothing or anything that I don't necessarily believe in. Period. But I have definitely been disappointed. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? We done got hit, but and we did all the research we could do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. We turned every stone and everything like that, but we're all human, and there's some secrets and some stuff that you just don't let people know, and there's nothing we can do about that.
Mm-hmm. And I think the other part, and I want to make this clear too, like, you're talking about two people, like, we've been to the top, right? Like, my career, I led Bank of America STEM Center for Career Development, the first African American to ever do it, and still, right? In the great city of Charlotte, meeting with Charles Bowman on the 64th floor of the Bank of America headquarters on a monthly basis. So I've been in those rooms. I've sat with those decision makers. Mm-hmm. So you're not talking about folks who are like looking up and like, I wonder what's going on in there. I've been in those rooms. I've played those games, right? I've done and made the agreements, right? That in hindsight, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Some of the things that we've done, Jew has a background in healthcare. My background was in education reform. And a lot of the decisions that I made, right, to make that 6-figure salary, to put on that suit, right, to get the driver to take me from here to there, I'm not proud of. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with y'all. I ain't proud of that shit. Like that's not okay. That's not where I sit in my current allegiance to who I am. I have a 5-year-old son and a beautiful wife that I take care of. Right. So when y'all talking about sitting in these rooms, I'm not sitting in these rooms thinking about dollars and cents. I didn't have that. And if y'all want to go beyond the corporate situation, I was doing what a lot of y'all telling these kids not to be doing. I did everything wrong and came out right. I did all that. So when I'm sitting at these tables, I'm all the way whole, right? I'm not going to the left or right. I'm dead center on this is what it is. Take it or leave it. And I'm not here to be flipped or played with, right? So that's the position that I think we have to play in. And believe it or not, I'm gonna show up for the first time. Like I'm here to say 3 years I've never been to a city council meeting. I've never even taken a meeting with a commissioner or anything. And Jew always kind of questions that, but it's like, bro, I don't do me a favor and don't do me no favors. Don't tell nobody about me. Tell them to come see me. Tell them to pull up. That door stays open. And our numbers are, we give cell numbers out. So like if it comes to the point where like we got to get a little, I feel like I'm trying to say it and I'm just going to say it, like we got to stop playing with each other. Right?
Stop playing in our face.
Stop playing. Y'all, we gotta stop playing with each other. It ain't them playing in our face. We gotta stop playing with each other. Because we can sit here and have this conversation all morning long, but at the end of the day, there's a space that I occupy that is the door's always open. And literally, maybe what we'll do, if y'all are interested in it, tomorrow we'll be there between 6 and 10, kicking it. Pull up after the decision is done. Because everybody got something to say right now. When they make that decision tomorrow, we'll be at the studio. What is the address?
1519 16th Street South.
1519 16th Street South. We'll be at the studio. Pull up on us. Let's have the real conversation. We'll even bring some beverages and food. Harold, come on. We ain't getting no crab legs, so don't even have
crab leg. No.
But we'll be at the studio after the decision is made, man. Pull up on us. And that could just be a prelude going into Friday's conversation. Right? But if you haven't been to the studio, pull up after that decision is made. And I definitely want you to pull up. Yeah, you have some questions. Please pull up.
I think one of the biggest things that we have is communications and dialogue. Mm-hmm. Right? That's more important than money. That's more important than status. The word is what made the world. That if you believe the Bible, God made it with the word. So I feel we do have conversations and we do have power in our conversation. It's about being intentional, right? And not because I'm finna tell you, we're in a spot where it's more profitable for us to not be together. Right? They will make it more profitable. They will pay you more not to talk to tomorrow.
That's all I'm trying to say.
And you know what I'm saying?
But those are the games that we're falling victim to. We'd rather build platforms and not even have them lean towards each other to glean or to garner from like, okay, you're doing this, I'm doing this. How can we lean? We ain't got to intersect. How can we lean towards each other so that when I'm in that room and they say something about you, I know how to respond on your behalf? Because you can't be in every room, right? You can't be in every room, and nor can I. But if somebody says something about Nixon and Co., we want to be the kind of organization that we've touched and wrapped enough where you can be like, hold on, cuz.
Wait. But you see, that comes with building relationships and knowing people, right? Yeah. And being out there because, like, my crew, we've been rocking and rolling for a long time. They can say some stuff, and I'm like, nah. Then they can say some stuff. You're right. Yeah. It happened. Right. But I want, like you say, to be able, if I'm not there, for somebody to be able to represent me. And if somebody's talking about my character that's not true, to be like, no. But what happens is a lot of times there's a lack of communication once a project ends, right? Because a lot of this stuff, I'm lucky to be friends and family with the people that I do business with. A lot of times you don't have that, right? And so the lack of is when we're doing business, some stuff is one and done. Boom. And we don't get to recap about the pluses and the negatives that happen because now everybody's going on. And the people who have the negative experience is left with that to talk amongst themselves and not with everybody else included. And again, perception is reality, but a conversation can change all of that.
Whole time. I think you nailed it. You nailed it. And that's I think that's where, people talk about catalytic change, right? They talk about how do you build, a catalyst that affords folks to really be balanced in their approach. And I think communication always is at the center of whatever that is. No matter whether the decision is over here or there, there's a point of communication that if you don't achieve, doesn't matter the way the scale plays in the end of the day. To your point, bad information remains bad information, and no one's coming back.
And sometimes you're not allowed to respond. Like I've done events, and then people done went live, and their experience is not what I tried to deliver, and not what right. And but yet you didn't even right. You said like I did a big concert, the Pretty Girl Takeover, and one of the girls was like, "Oh, celebrities don't do this, yada yada yada." And I called her when I saw it, and she never even picked up. But I'm like, listen, I know bottle girls that walked out with over $1,000 that night because they did their work. I thought I put you in the premium area because you was the professional and you just was like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, if you would have went and worked your section, you didn't work it, somebody else did, and they left a $500 tip. You know what I mean? And so there was like, your perception is your reality. And then you didn't even give me the chance to explain so you could see it in my, but it is 8:00. And so we're out of here. Sister Hughes.
Shout all around the room.
Coming in. Listen, we're gonna put up the link again on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club for Friday. Please register, come in after Thursday, like they say, invited right after the decision at 1519 16th Street South. Pull up. It's gonna be a nice little conversation. Look forward. We got some stuff going on. We're still gonna have this man's mental health conversation. Yes. And originally we were saying there was going to be minimum participation with women, but everybody is invited. We definitely want to build strong communities and for strong relationships here, and starting with the head, the man and the woman, so that the families can operate.
That's right.
Smoothly and understanding each other, because a lot of times it sounds like we saying womp 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 womp, and we want healthy relationships. So this has been the Tampa Bay. I'm sorry, y'all want to do a closing? We really don't have time. All right. So yes, I appreciate y'all coming in. This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I am Qiana.
I'm the one and only Mr. Atman.
And we're out.